Hey, Cinnamon Rage here, and welcome to race 14 of season 16 of AOR, and just throw in some more letters, and this is the F6 league that I'm in just now. So we're on to, well, after midway of the season now. It's Monza. I think this might be the last of the European tracks. I can't honestly remember, I really need to look up beforehand. But this is my best lap that I'd done a practice session with my teammate Jermo just before this, maybe around a couple hours before, and I did get a 1:99 on my first of 3 qualifying sessions, though I just kept messing up the other 2, and on this session it was pretty much more of the same. I messed up my first lap, which is why it's a 1:21. The second lap I invalidated just by running out a fraction too wide, and this was my last lap, my final chance to get a good position, and it was okay, but I was overly cautious in the area where I can't remember, I think they're called the Degnas, but I'm not really too sure. But I was overly cautious through there, as that's where I'd invalidated before. The car obviously stepping out there slightly as I go through a scary. So coming up to the last corner, obviously doing a bit better, but I was really looking to kind of gain more than a second to try and get into the 119s, but it wasn't to be. I would get away with doing a 120.03, so I think I was the first of the people outside the 119s, and that gave me 7th position for the race. My teammate though, Jermo, went on to have another phenomenal qualifying, and he qualified on pole again, so he's been on quite a strong run the last 2 races. These high speed European tracks seem to suit him, but start of the race, a tool seems to, I guess, a lot of torque steer just went off the track, and I take it quite easy in here, but even with that I do give Catherine the back of her car a wee tap there, but didn't affect either of us in any way, no wing damage, but yeah, my overly cautious approach there did lose me a position despite a tool who was ahead, so really technically 2 positions down, although he kind of was responsible for me getting one of them back. I was trying to be quite cautious through here. I'd been making a lot of misjudgments in practice when I was looking to do the opening kind of couple of laps, just with a high fuel load, etc., and tyres that probably weren't the warmest. So I was being quite cautious. I am following Bayfield just now. I kind of look here like I'm actually looking up the outside. I was kind of more just trying to worry him into a mistake, but I was never actually going to go for the move. And yeah, I hold on to my P8, but actually I get a great run here. I don't know what happened, but Catherine and Bayfield kind of back up, and this is quite a wide part of the track, so I decide to go down the inside. I do brake quite early though. I have the inside, and I get a double overtake in the Parabolica, which was kind of amazing. Although I think it may have turned out that Catherine had a wee bit of front wing damage, so let's not take away from the fact I got a double overtake in the Parabolica. But you can see here, my good times were not to last. Bayfield does a lunge down the inside in a position he was never going to make, and it costs me my wing. So here it is again in slow motion, and I brake around about the 150, which is kind of 20 metres earlier. You can see me turning in. I would never have been anywhere near Catherine, but Bayfield just comes straight in, hits me into her, and luckily I went into her side pod rather than into the front wing of her car, or else it would have been a lot more serious. But that's me now got light yellow and dark yellow damage on either side, left and right respectively, of my front wing, and that really messed up my race. I'd looked at Bayfield's footage of the incident, and it looks like he'd actually braked at about the 100 metre board, which is just way too late, especially on the inside. But at this point I had a strategic call, and speaking to my teammate Jermo on the party chat, he'd kind of recommended soft, and I wasn't sure if I had 2 sets of softs, but I decided to go for it anyway, and that's what I went for. But it seems like the others, Bayfield and Catherine, who'd pitted at the same time, both with wing damage, they went for the mediums, and they were going to run them till the end of the race. So I kind of thought I'd maybe made a bit of a mistake with strategy, but especially as during my soft stint, which I completely glazed over because nothing happened. I made no progress on Catherine at all, really. I caught up for a wee while, but I kept making silly mistakes, and realistically her pace was too good. We're going to pass Bayfield at the side here. I'm not quite sure how and why he left, or if he crashed or not. But you can also see Mini Dude, who's behind me. It looks like he peels into the pits, and then he just kind of leaves the session. So I don't know if he hit the wall or what happened. It's really, it just seems to stop before the pits, judging by the wee dot in the minimap. But anyway, well, maybe we'll never know. It'll be the great mysteries of F6. But yeah, at this point I'm just now behind GJDJ, not by much, but I am on faster tyres. He was on 12 lap old tyres at the point I'd kind of come out behind him. So realistically I should have absolutely the advantage here. I had enough ERS. I'd actually braked a wee bit early here to see if I could get a better run round the corner so that I didn't kind of get in his dirty air. And it seemed to have worked quite well for me. So I get a really good run. I move out super early because just this game is so lousy with desync that I just didn't want to risk it, even though it probably helped me get the move done a wee bit easier. I stay wide, I brake early, and I leave tons of room round the corner till I know he's gone white arrowed, and I just get the move done. Now at this point, the next person up was my teammate, who I didn't actually notice what the gap was to him, but I did bring it down significantly. Just because, again, new tyres, he was on older tyres, but I think the most I managed coming up to this point was about 4 seconds I'd get it down to, so it was a really nice run, but he had no penalties and I wouldn't have pushed it anyway. But you can see here actually Catherine, you saw the yellow flags, and then Catherine goes into the pits, so I've got to assume that she'd been on them since lap 2 or the end of lap 2, and she must have got a puncture. It would have always been pushing the mediums, but it's kind of obviously unfortunate for her that they went just with 1 lap to go. But obviously it does help me get one more wee point. But yeah, it seems like the strategy that me and Jermo had discussed during the race was a good one. Actually going to the softs. I never, it should be noted, got any penalties this race. I get 2 warnings, and I only get the second really late on in the race. My teammate Jermo, you can see, he's actually just ahead of me despite qualifying pole, and I think it was possibly just about lap 7 or 8. He caught one of the curbs. I think it's the Degners. It's basically the second chicane after the first chicane, and it caused him to spin, but unfortunately, given how open this track is, it was the one part of the track where you could actually spin and hit the wall. But yeah, subscribe to him and you can see his footage of the race as well. But I think the best I could get was about 3.5 seconds behind him. He had no penalties and the people in front were too far away, so 9th it was, which, to be honest, when we only had 13 drivers, it maybe doesn't seem like a great result, but I did lose my wing and have to do a pit stop that wasn't planned. And yeah, it's the second race in a row with points, so realistically I am still just quite happy with that. And you can see overrated Lama won. At this point though, I believe Kizimodo has put in a ticket against him for a corner cut at the start, so who knows, it might change. And yeah, a few drivers up the top that you don't see that often, I guess. But yeah, it was an okay race. I was kind of quite happy with it. And just quickly, I'm just going to do something I haven't really done before. Maybe I did it once, but I'm going to start trying to introduce this each week. So here's the actual AOR standings, and you can see I'm in 12th with a long streak of no points, but yeah, there's quite a gap from me to next place. But me and Jermo and the Ferrari have moved up to 5th, but we're only 6 points behind the Williams, so maybe if we get a good run, you never know. I say we get a good run. Probably Jermo gets some points and I try and scrape a couple at the other end, but it doesn't matter. It's the constructors. I've got to kind of pull in some more points if we're going to keep this up. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you liked, and if you do, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you next week, wherever that is, because unfortunately I forgot to look it up, but never mind. See you soon.